So in the last episode, I think I spoke on not only the two girlfriend thing, but I touched on like the truth and being brutally honest and speaking on the truth, even if it's something that doesn't come off in a very pretty way, but still being able to convey the truth no matter how it may come across or how it may look. And I'll give you a reason on why that is. At a very young age, I had a friend of mine who taught me this lesson. I want to say like around in 6th grade. So at the time I was in Northeast Philly again, and I think I was in 6th grade. But the guy I'm talking about, I think I known even since elementary school. So maybe I went to Anne Frank Elementary. And I think I've known him ever since then. So, at that time, everything was cool between me and him. He was white, and everything was cool between me and him. I don't remember how we met. I do remember small stuff like when I first came to the school, he was one of the people who spoke to me first because I was coming from West Philly up to Northeast Philly, and I switched within that school year, third grade school year, and he was one of the first people to talk to me actually. So everything was cool between me and him. Like, we weren't like the best of friends, so I won't act like that. Like we spoke, every day, all day about everything, because we didn't. But super cordial guy. If you spoke to him, he would speak back. He would play with you. You know what I mean? Like nothing came off in a real crazy way, or no antennas was ever raised about how this guy moved. He was introverted though, even in the sense of talking to him, whatever he was, you could tell that he was introverted by nature at that point in time. But stuck to himself, but not overly so to where you would feel any type of way about. And it was that way all the way through. So, again, I think I met him in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, everything was the same. Get to 6th grade, and that's when I went to middle school, started middle school, and I can't remember how the topic even came up, but it was me, my cousin, shout out to Antoine, my cousin, and a couple other people, and it was in the morning, very early morning, right before everybody was supposed to go inside the bell room. We were supposed to go inside and go to class and all that, and I don't even remember how it came up, but we was all just talking or whatever, and we was referring to the guy who I met in 3rd grade, and one of us, and it wasn't me because I didn't know this at the time, but somebody within that little grouping of people said something like, did you know that so-and-so is a, because I'm trying to protect his name. I don't really want to say his name, whatever, because I don't know, he might be trying to run for president one day, and I ain't trying to mess him up. So I'm gonna just say so-and-so if I can, and try not to say his name. But it was like, did you know that like so-and-so, didn't like black people, or that he was racist or whatever? Mind you, we're saying this at like 6th grade. And when they said who it was, I was like, no, he ain't. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I'm thinking like, nah, like that can't be. Like, no way in the world he's racist, or or that he doesn't like black people, whatever. And this might have been my cousin talking to me. I don't really remember who it was, but they was like, yo, yeah, he is. Like, and I can't remember how they found out, but somehow, some way, they found out that, this guy was this way or whatever. And, I was in like denial, like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, nah, that can't be, or whatever the case is, because I'm only going off of the experiences that I had with this guy. And none of them said that he was that way. You know what I mean? He didn't come off as, yo, I don't want to talk to you because you're black. I won't play with you because you're black. Like, no signs that would say that he was that way. So, I'm denying it. Whoever I'm talking to is saying, or is trying to confirm it, whatever the case is. So, it just so happens that around this time that we're talking about this guy, he happened to be, like walking somewhat nearby to where we could call out to him, whatever. So one of us called out to him, and he walked over. Now mind you, I think everybody that was in the circle was black or Spanish or Latin, Colombian, whatever the case is. I want to say it was my homie Reese, my homie Brian, and me and Antoine. That's what I want to say. But it might have been some other people. If I forgot you when you watched this, my bad. But I want to say it was us. So, you know, mind you, he's walking into a group of colored people, if you will. Whatever. So he walks up to us all polite, you know, not thinking of anything, say, hey, what's up, guys, or whatever. And then, like, there's this awkward silence or whatever, like, because nobody kind of wants to be the first one to kind of, like, bring up, like, yo, are you racist? So, like, there's this real awkward silence amongst the circle. So my cousin, shout out to Antoine, little filter, very low filter, even at that age. So being as though nobody knows how to bring it up or whatever, he brings it up in the most inconspicuous way I guess he thought at the time was possible, but it really wasn't. He was like, he was looking at me, he was like, so I'm not a racist. He said, Chris, are you a racist? And I was thinking like, yo, why'd you start it off this way? But I was like, no, I'm not a racist or whatever. And then he was like, are you a racist? Like talking to the guy who's in question or whatever. So I remember the guy, he looked down for a minute. He didn't really look surprised, believe it or not. I remember he looked down for a minute and it seemed like he took like a short breath or whatever. And then he said, well, I'm pretty much racist. I really don't care for, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly what he said. I just know small parts of it. But he said, you know, well, I'm pretty much racist or don't really care for black people, but I like you guys. Meaning the people that was in the group, including myself or whatever. And that taught me something. I wasn't offended. I wasn't offended at all. Reason being, I kind of respected him afterwards. Because again, he's talking within a group of colored people, black people, Spanish people, whatever, and he's saying this. And he has enough balls or whatever you want to say, courage to say this to us. And, you know, if he said this to the wrong person, even though he didn't say it in a very like vulgar or mean manner, he still could have got beat up. Didn't care to him, you know what I mean? Because he still had enough to say. So he said, you know, pretty much racist, pretty much don't care for black people, but, you know, I like you guys or whatever. And that taught me something. That basically taught me that he was willing to stick by what he stuck by, even at that age. Didn't matter how I came across. Didn't matter how I came across, he just stuck to his own truth, whatever he felt inside. Now, I do know a couple things. I do know that to be a racist or to be someone like that, it's a taught mannerism. It's not something that you were born with. So for him to say that he's racist or prejudiced or don't like people of color at that age, chances are it was taught to him by, you know, parents or some other experiences that pushed him into that light. But what I also know is that he respected us enough because, again, I never caught those signs from him. I never caught him acting like you know, like a racist person would tend to act if he didn't care for people of my kind. You know, so I did sense the fact that, well, okay, this guy at least respects me. You know what I mean? And then, truthfully, that's all I really care about. That's all I really ask for. I think it's really insane to want everybody to like you on this earth. It's not going to happen no matter what you do. You know, you can try your best. You can try to do any and everything that a person will ask you, and there's always going to be somebody who just does not like you. So I really don't think it's feasible to have everybody like you. It's possible to have everybody respect you, and I think that's what's supposed to be pursued amongst people, not necessarily the fact that that person likes you or not. So I do at least recognize the fact that he respected me, and that's all I really cared for. And what it also taught me was how to move in regards to him going forward. What he did was raise the antenna that I've always had down in regards to him. I never knew. I never thought that he was racist. I never thought that he was prejudiced. I never treated him different after that fact either. Like, me and him never had a situation to where, you know, all of a sudden I noticed he was racist. He was the same old guy he's been before that, before I knew that information. But I still had my antennas up now. I still was able to say, okay, even though, you know, me and this guy are cool and, you know, we don't have any, all right then. Anyway, even though me and this guy was cool, you know, I still knew how to move in regards to him and, just would make sure that I would have my antennas up to a certain level with this guy, to where I wouldn't be that laxed, to where I would just think that everything's perfectly normal between me and him going forward. And I appreciated that, because again, at that point in time, I didn't know that he was that way. So I was almost like oblivious to the fact that he felt this way about people of color, people who look like me. So again, I appreciate him being able to do that, and I appreciate that with people now, and that taught me to move in the same regard. Even if it's something that, a person might not like, I think it's something that they deserve. They deserve the truth. They shouldn't be lied to just to protect whatever feelings they may have regarding whatever the subject may be. No, you give it to them. Now, there are ways to convey whatever the truth is. You don't have to be, mean or blunt with it. You don't have to try to hurt the person with the truth either. But in the event that whatever that truth is going to hurt them, you shouldn't try to omit it because of it. You still should be able to convey it and give it to a person as best the way that you know how. And even if it does hurt them, hopefully at the end of it, they'll be able to respect you for the fact that you didn't lie to them. You told them the truth, and you didn't spare their feelings in the midst of it. I think that's kind of like a problem amongst people in general. We always almost like think that we know how this person is going to react to hearing the truth, because we kind of put ourselves in their shoes. Oh, well, if I was told this news that I'm about to tell this person, I would be this, that, and the third. And you don't know how that person is really going to react until you tell them. And even if they do react how you tell them, the way you thought they were going to react, still give it to them. At some point, they'll respect you for it. Because if it's something like really, really bad and you don't tell them, and you have like a certain relationship with that person, they're going to be looking at you crazy anyway because you didn't tell them. So really, it's something that you should just give them. Truth is delicate. Honesty is delicate. It can cut. It often cuts. On both sides, it often cuts. But it's something that should be handled properly. It's something that you should always be willing to give and receive, which is also hard to do. When someone tells you the truth, a lot of times you get defensive. It's something that you should be able to take as well. I'm learning to take it as well. I try to be truthful with myself all the time and not hold back on myself. So it's something that I think as we grow, is something we're supposed to learn to handle and receive it properly once it's given to us. And I think that's something that will always have to be worked on, because it can come at any point in time. And normally when you get the truth when you're not ready for it, it hurts the most. It cuts the deepest. So shout out to him for teaching me that lesson. I know that he don't even know that he taught me that lesson, because again, we were super young to receive that type of lesson at that time. But certain things, even though they may seem small at the time, I carry with me. And that was one of the things I carried with me immediately. It was an immediate situation to where when he said it, something like triggered in my head, like, yo, he's dope for that. Again, I didn't think bad of him in the sense of, oh, this guy is a racist, I don't like him. I respected him to a degree to where it was like, yo, like, shout out to him. Like, I'm going to move that way. He almost inspired me. Like, I'm going to move that way from now on, and I'm going to give the truth or whatever. So shout out to him. This episode is all about honesty. The next episode, we're going to go in a very different direction. And that one will probably touch on situations to where other people who've been through it, it might touch them in a different way. They might be affected by what they hear in the next episode, but it's for a bigger picture. So in episode 4, it's really only going to be a prerequisite to episode 5. And that one, hopefully, I'm going to have a guest here who will speak with me, because this was a situation that not only I went through, but this person also went through as well, at a very young age. A lot of these things that you're going to hear happen with me at a very, very young age. So hopefully that person will be able to speak on it. If they choose not to, I'm still going to speak on it. And that's because there's a different guest on episode 5 who already confirmed that they're willing to speak on that same subject. They're going to be here to speak on it, and it gets crazy from there. That episode actually might be super long to where it has to get chopped up. So stay tuned for that, and I will talk to you guys in about a week or so. All right, check out later.